Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth definitely matters. You can find us on television, still on Charter Communications, Channel 182 Charter. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire, and thanks to Fox News, we're Fox News affiliates as well. You can find us all over the internet. You can get away from us if you tried. And the podcast on thenewscasters.com, thenewscasters.com. We are here live right here at Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City Used Car Sales.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. So Phil bought a truck like months ago, okay? So you know how Phil is. He remembered any little tick in a car, he's going to hear it whether anybody else can hear it or not. He's one of those shade tree mechanics from back in the day. And so it's just a little simple thing. Well, Bobby has been worrying me to death about replacing and fixing the truck. And I'm going, really, Bobby? It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. So come down here, BobbyLedbetter.com. You'll find him in Gadsden. You'll also find him anywhere, coming from anywhere. Go ahead and check him out, BobbyLedbetter.com. I have my really good friend John Merrill with me right now, former Alabama Secretary of State. And you've been in politics a long time.
We have, and we've tried to make a positive impression wherever we've been and be able to accomplish things on behalf of the people we've served and represented, and it's been such a great honor. And now we're trying to do the same thing through our service at Waggoner Engineering, and that has gone really well. Of course, Waggoner is based in Jackson, Mississippi, but we have 21 offices in 6 states, and the service that we provide in Alabama is provided out of the Birmingham office, which is where I'm based, and the Huntsville office, which is where we are getting a lot of our North Alabama business, and things have gone extremely well. And of course, as you know, going from the Tennessee Valley down to where we are now, there's a lot of things going on all across the state of Alabama, but especially in North Alabama, from Huntsville and Jackson County, Limestone County and Marshall County, as you come down to the Cab, and then to Etowah and Cherokee and this whole area. So it's a lot.
It really isn't, and he'll never say a word about this. I'm going to brag on him a little bit. So when you were Alabama Secretary of State, you traveled the counties, so that's special insight you have with the people and what we need in each county.
Well, you're kind to say that. I did travel to all 67 counties for 12 years in a row, and now this is the 13th year in a row that I have done so. And that has gone extremely well, too, because I really don't think you can help identify what the needs are in a community without being there with the people who live there and listening to them and understanding what challenges they're facing. As a matter of fact, I was in Hale County just last week talking to the probate judge there, and they have significant water issues there. They have some issues with their courthouse. They have some infrastructure issues that they're trying to address. And then I was talking to another guy in Montgomery coming up today about a conversation he had with a probate judge I had recently visited with, and trying to find a way to help them identify their needs and to meet their needs. And Waggoner is doing that in an extraordinary fashion, where we're working hard to help transform these communities.
Well, Terry had a question for you. He said next time you're on the show, he wanted to ask this. So he knows I love old buildings. I mean, I can turn one around. I just love to do it. But is it necessary? Because, you know, sometimes we'll get into a town, the downtown part of it, like, I'm thinking of a town like, they have cleaned that area up.
Yes,
I'm tell you, it looks nothing like it did look. It looks like a postcard from a Christmas tree. I mean, it's just beautiful. So what would be the best thing if you're planning, new planning commissioner, say, in a town? I forgot which county he said he was in. Terry, thank you for sending that. Is it best just to scrap everything, start all over, or just trying to renovate what you have?
No, I don't think so. I think one of the things that we have to do in order to be successful in revitalizing a community, and we have a number of communities of our 465 municipalities that are incorporated in the 67 counties, as well as other communities that are inside those 67 counties. that are older. They're gentrified. They are not progressing at the way that the people there would like for them to, or at the rate that they did before. And I think one of the things that has to be considered is taking an inventory of where you are and then assessing what the strengths are of that community, things that you can do with the existing resources that you have, and then how you can improve those resources to help that community grow and become what you want it to be economically, educationally, with a higher quality of life. And when you do those things successfully, you're going to be able to see your community start to grow again. But until you reinvest, you're not going to be able to do that. But without a structured plan, you're not going to be able to do it at all. Because too many times people are interested in just seeing the end result instead of seeing the plan that is involved that helps you get to where you are going.
Totally agree. I mean, without the plan, but where do you start? I mean, it takes getting the community active and ready to flourish. I just love old buildings. It's the way they were structured, the way they were
Well, look,
structured.
this
Back
is
in the
one of the
day,
things that you have to remember is that the older buildings that you're talking about that you love so much, some that we have here in Gadsden are better built, higher quality, higher quality products that went to the construction of those, whether it's the steel, the brick, the wood that was used, a lot better than what we have today.
and I'm gonna tell you, the workers had a lot of pride in what they did back then. Well, now too, but I'm just talking especially back in the
For
day.
sure. And so taking advantage of those existing facilities and refurbishing them can often mean a lot of savings in the end as you continue to move forward in trying to reestablish that particular part of your community as an area that you want to see grow and develop.
Let's use Boaz for an example. You know, back in the day, people were coming all over the country to Boaz, Alabama, to the outlets. And I'm just watching some of those buildings. They've been vacant for decades now. Could that be revitalized?
Of course it can. And you know, the thing that you have to do is give people a reason, A, to want to come there, and in order to identify what needs they have in that community so people will choose to reinvest in that area and then have that area grow once again so that all the things that we've talked about are being done in a way that's structured, that's planned, and that is easy to digest.
Well, in an old building, though, where do you start? Because you got to make sure, you know, the pipes. I mean, you've got plumbing, you've got all of those things you really need to look at.
Well, you do electrical outlets as well as plumbing, as well as HVAC, all of those things that are so important to having a conditioned facility that will allow you to be able to take it from where it is to where you want it to be in a way that is a comprehensive revitalization. But if you choose to skip a step because you're wanting to save money, the one thing that I've discovered is that when you're saving some of that money on the front end, on the back end, you're going to end up investing more than you would have otherwise if you had taken it in a deliberate fashion.
Well, we used to live on 25 Main Street in Oxford. Back in the day, my granddad said that was Millionaire Avenue, and this house was built in 1885. It was almost 4,000 square feet. Well, I got aggravated at Phil because my husband Phil, he wanted the structure of it to be sound, and I said, well, when is it going to start looking pretty? And he said, no, we got to get the ceilings, the foundation, all that stuff has to be done first. And he was absolutely right. He said, you start spending money on pretty stuff right now, it's going to crumble.
That's right.
He was right, wasn't he?
Absolutely. 100%.
And we were able to resell it and make a profit because we did most of the work.
Well, and another thing to consider is that there are some people who would look at a particular facility and they would not think that that was going to be viable for any other type of investment. Whereas people that may not be from your community will come and look at it and say, oh, we can take this and do X, Y, and Z, and then end up having a facility that is exactly what people want. And I'm reminded of a situation that was in Flomaton down in South Alabama, down on the Florida line, where they had a old abandoned bank building that had not been in use for many years. As a matter of fact, it had a tree that had grown up inside the building and through the roof. But when they were able to talk to the people that actually held the note on it, they were able to get it and use it for the community as a whole. And it helped them be able to take some baby steps to move forward in a redevelopment of the downtown area. And that's what you want, is for everything to end up complementing each other.
Well, I love gardening. And so I'm thinking in my neighborhood, I would like to get a gardening club started, where people can learn how to, especially kids, keep kids busy, planting seeds and stuff like that. So is there an rage, I guess you would say, of community gardens going on now?
One of the questions that I've asked myself, based on what you just introduced, Donna, is why we don't have more of that going on. As a matter of fact, we're working with County Commissioner Violet Edwards in Madison County. She represents a portion of downtown Huntsville, but most of her area is urbanized. It's not a rural part of Madison County. And she has some property that she's been working on the campus of Alabama A&M University, which is a community garden development. And what they do is they encourage people to come from all over Madison County to actually plant and then go back, till, harvest, and celebrate the success that they've had in growing products there in that community garden. And even though that's on the campus of Alabama A&M, home of the Bulldogs, I think it's important to note that this can happen at any location in the state where you've got property that can be worked with and the growth that can be managed properly. A great location for this in any community is going to be a school where students at the elementary level or students at the middle school level or students at the high school level can come together through their science classes and can actually grow that area and develop it and make it what you're talking about with a community garden. You don't have to do that at a community college setting or at a four-year institution of higher learning, especially one that's concentrated on agricultural development like Auburn University, Tuskegee University, or Alabama A&M University. You can do it anywhere. And I think whenever we get ready to do that and we have a structured commitment to that development, it just enhances the overall quality of life in that community.
Absolutely. And I know you and Cindy are travelers like Phil and I are. So we were in New York. Have you seen some of the restaurants in New York? If you can grow a garden on top of a skyscraper, and that's smart. So it's almost like, farm to table with a lot of these restaurants in New York. And I'm glad they're doing that. They're just using the top of a
That's
skyscraper.
phenomenal, especially when they're selling some of their products in their own facility, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a store type setting. It means a lot to people.
Mhm. Oh, it does. And in any area, Abbeville, South Carolina is one of them. I have met heaven. I'm going to tell you what, the people there love gardening. So when I bought 4 plants. You only have to buy a plant once if you learn how to propagate. So I bought 4 lavender plants. I'm snipping those little things off, putting them in dirt. And I did 120 of those. And I'm saying, God, if you'll just let me have 10 plants, I'll be happy. I'll not complain anymore, which never happens. But anyway, I'll never complain again. Guess what? All 120 of them came out.
Wow.
So Brian Brown, who's with the Master Gardeners program through Auburn University, came by. And he said, well, I guess you got your little lavender farm started there. It's just a matter of propagating. But I think if we could educate kids, get into the schools and do that, it's a whole world right
Sure
there.
it is. And one of the things that I think we forget about children is that children can be entertained and their minds can be molded in a way that enables them to see possibilities that we can't conceive of because we're older and we have our experiences and our experiences become more focused. Theirs are really whatever their imaginations can conceive
They can see it
of.
from a total different point of view.
Well, exactly. And Cindy and I were in New York this weekend, and as we were going through town, we saw a little family, and there were 2 children, and one child said to the other, I'm going to lead on this, and remember when we come by this, then I'm the one that does this. And I turned to her and I said, children don't need video games. They don't need televisions. They don't need balls even in order to entertain themselves or to have a good time, because they can use their imaginations to create things that will allow them to be in a world of their own. And much like Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, having that type encouragement from their parent or from an adult that can enable them to have those experiences, to have the resources they need to do the things that will allow them to see the success from what they've invested, can change their lives.
Sure can. I have to tell you, Mother didn't appreciate it so well when I bring crawdads in to put them in jars, or canning jars. She didn't like that. Let's go into a commercial break. We went past the halftime, but that's fine. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in there. Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic My Pillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
We're back. My name is Donna. When we get through talking about crawdads and stuff like that, this is John Merrill with me. And John, you guys are doing phenomenal things right here in Gadsden.
We are, and we continue to have success here. We love this community. Etowah County is a great place in the state of Alabama. The city of Gadsden is the shining light here in Etowah County, but the work that we've done on Black Creek Parkway, the work that we've done downtown over on the Country Club Road, Country Club Drive, being able to see some of those things develop that has enabled us to improve the quality of life for the people that are living there, improve the infrastructure, improve the ability for them to get from point A to point B by being able to walk, whereas before they would have to take their vehicles to be safe. It just improves a lot of different options for them.
Yeah, the whole quality of life thing going on there. So I'm just amazed at the things that are happening here in Gadsden. I know we went by the Gadsden Mall, I went by there and see Kaylee Johnson. Kaylee got another job promotion, by the way, doing very, very well. With her leadership and with her experience in retail, I think is probably the way she's just taking off like a rocket. But they're having all kinds of events out there, and that helps too. You know, you need events to bring family and friends and talk to your neighbors. You know, you talk to them at an event.
Well, Donna, we talked about this before, but the Gadsden Mall, more than any other mall that I'm aware of in the state of Alabama, is more of what a mall was designed to be and more of what many of our malls we remember as, which is a place where people came together to look at the different stores that were in the mall, to shop, to eat, to be able to have a recreational opportunity. And Kaylee has made the Gadsden Mall relevant again, and she adds individual businesses that complement those that are already there as opposed to competing with those that are already there. And when you do that successfully, you're going to continue to see growth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's making that happen. And I've also thought about this because we're new in an area right now. And the best way to meet people is a community of a mall. I mean, walk. I mean, this great exercise. You don't have to be older like me. You can walk young. As a matter of fact, I'm watching young folks walk around the mall now.
Well, and it's funny you say that because in Tuscaloosa, former Mayor Al DuPont spent most of his retirement years in the morning out walking in the mall. As soon as the mall would open, he would be out there and he would be walking around and he would be trying to stay in good health. Lived well into his late 80s as a very healthy specimen because he was committed to meeting people, helping people, and being that leader that he had always been in a different vein now than he had been before.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for about 9 years. Phil worked for a company there, and we came back to Alabama after that. what I noticed there was a lot. It was like the whole town is like a bunch of little towns put together, almost like Atlanta. It's a big city. And so I noticed little pockets of parks, walking trails. That's another awesome thing to add to a community.
It really is, and you're seeing more and more that the federal government is actually providing resources to help communities establish themselves with a park design in mind. You're seeing the state concentrate on that. Just a couple of years ago, the state of Alabama's Department of Tourism focused on the year of parks, and that was not just state parks, but local parks and local communities in the 465 municipalities in our 67 counties. And whenever you have people reinvesting in those parks, you see families that will come and spend time there in the morning, in the afternoon, on the weekends, celebrating their community. And it really is a very productive way to visit with people you don't know and to engage in relationships that you never would be able to find otherwise.
Absolutely. I think it's an amazing thing to do. Are there grants available for families, maybe farmers, as well as businesses, if they would like to renovate?
You know, there are. I think when it comes to agricultural commitments, talking to the folks with the Extension Service, which is coordinated through Auburn University and through Alabama A&M University and through Tuskegee University, it enables them to have opportunities for growth and development they would not normally have. So having that as a way to start that initiative can mean a lot to those families. Also, there are opportunities for resources through the Small Business Administration that families can take a conceptual idea and find a way to get money to invest in that idea to turn that into a functional business that can help to change the future.
I'll have to tell you, Tom Toad is retiring now. And I hate to see him go. He used to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Calhoun County. He and I were good friends. But he was one of those. It was just, you just give him a plan.
Sure.
And he would be out there and happy. And I'm sure the person taking over his capacity will be doing the same thing. Absolutely. So about 2 minutes left in this segment. Man, time flies by when you're having a great interview. So what can people do? What would be the first step? Let's say you want to start a restaurant in Gadsden, Alabama, right in the middle of everything. What do they need to do?
Well, look, I think a lot of people have great ideas. A lot of people have great concepts of things that they'd like to see done, that they want to be a part of. But having a business plan and having an idea about why you think this can be successful is very important when you're trying to get the financing. Now, if you can independently finance what you're trying to do, that's one thing, but if you have to borrow resources from a financial institution, that's another thing altogether. But even if you can self-finance, you need to have a business plan so you know what your marketing strategy is going to be, you know what your organizational strategy is going to be, you know what your delivery process is going to be, and so you can be successful as you're putting together a plan for the success of that intended property, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a retail outlet, whatever it happens to be. But having the plan is the most important thing, and sharing it with a professional that you trust or that you have confidence in or that is available for you to bounce something off of through a university, through a community college, through a chamber of commerce will mean a lot to your future success.
Paula Dean started out as
Absolutely.
just making sandwiches and taking them to business. So you just never know. Mary Kay Ash, I've never sold Mary Kay or anything like that, but I like their products. She started out of a garage. So anyway, find books, read books, and ask for mentors and folks like this guy right here, John Merrill. John, thank you so much for being with me.
Don, thanks for having me as your guest.
Oh, yeah, it's always so much fun, and thank you for watching. Continue sending the emails. I love them, okay? You're not taking up my time, I promise. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.